Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. My name is Emily and I'm here with Cindy Evans. She is a TA at FSU, among many other things. So welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for being on here with us. And we just want to kind of talk about your experience as a TA at FSU, and I believe you've TA'd other places as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so just kind of how it compares and the experience. So we will get into it. So how long have you been a TA?
So I'm currently working on my PhD, so I've been doing this kind of go around of TAing for about a year, and then I did my MA, and I was a TA for about a year there as well. Technically 2 years, but 1 year of like being a teaching assistant in a classroom, and then I TA'd for 2 years at my undergraduate college in Utah at Brigham Young University. So yeah, so I have a lot of years.
Awesome. Girl, you're a professional. Awesome. So what has been like your experience with like the professor TA relationship? Like, has it changed drastically for the different classes you've taken, or is it like pretty much the same?
I think it's always going to be different. I mean, it's like taking a class. The classroom experience is so contingent on the teacher and how the teacher conducts themselves and conducts the class. And, you know, I don't think I've had horrible TAing experience, but I've definitely had better ones versus ones that were maybe more stressful or there was more pressure on me. Experiences where I felt the teacher was more guidance-based, like they would give me lots of guidance on how they wanted things done, and then other professors who kind of just expect certain things and you don't really know what they want.
Yeah. And what do you prefer? You said, like, do you prefer more to have guidelines like that or more of like a free form?
I like to have guidelines in terms, because at the end of the day, that classroom belongs to the teacher.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you had said that it was like a class. Does it require pretty much the same time frame, like time commitment as like a regular class, or what does the time look like?
That is a good question. I think it depends on the class. I've had classes where I feel like I have a pretty decent basis of knowledge, because I think as a TA, I always want to be in a position to be as helpful to the students. Maybe not as helpful as a professor, but you know, helpful.
Pretty close, yeah.
So I want to be in a position where I can help them. So I've had classes where I feel like I have a good basis of knowledge, and then I can kind of, you know, just if a student has a question, then I can kind of rely on the knowledge that I have. And then there's been classes where I don't feel like I have that much knowledge, and it's my responsibility to educate myself and to be on top of the readings and be on top of whatever the students are doing so that I can be more helpful to them, be a better resource.
Yeah. What got you into TAing? Was it just like a requirement that you had to do, or was it something that you sought out?
Well, I'm such a nerd, because when I got my job at BYU to be a TA, I was super excited, and I was like desperately trying to get that job, because I think I've known for a really long time that I wanted to teach. That's kind of been my trajectory for a long time, and I knew that TAing was my first kind of step into that world, into seeing kind of how professors put together a class and how to help students and how to interact with students and how to grade properly and how to give good feedback, like things that are really important, in my opinion, to be an effective teacher. So when I got the job at BYU, it was because I was desperately trying to get it, and I was very grateful I got it. So.
Do you think TAing is like for everyone? Like, can anyone be a TA, or like does it take a specific type?
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, it just depends on the class. I think it depends on the person, depends on the class. I think that if somebody wants to be a TA, then yeah, like anyone can do it if you're, you know, if that's, you know, like for me, I didn't know how to be a TA before I was one, but I, you know, knew I wanted to do it, and then I learned in the process.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are coming to the end of our time here. I will leave you with the final question of, like, would you recommend TAing, or like, has it been a good experience overall?
It's been
I assume yes.
Yeah, no. It's been great. I love TAing. I don't know. I think that your perspective on schooling changes a lot when you've had the perspective of the student, and as like the teacher, and as the TA. I feel like those are kind of that's like the trifecta. You can kind of like see it from different perspectives, and I think that it makes you more appreciative of the work that goes into teaching a class, and then also see the work that goes into being a student, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that, you know, I think it's always important to see it from either perspective, to understand that like everybody really is hopefully trying to do their best to educate themselves or educate somebody else, and to just like use education to elevate yourself.
Yeah, definitely a collaborative effort there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for talking to us. It's been a